and thank you for tuning in to the Forum Show today. I'm your host, Ashley Tate, here with my co-host, Christy Largent, and John Growney, a rodeo stock contractor who is cracking me up right now because you are laughing during the intro, and I love it.
City girl.
So, we got there. He knows I'm a city girl, so.
Yep. Yeah, we are so lucky to have John, and like Ashley, we were talking before we started filming, and she's like, we're going to the rodeo today, and I think we are. We have a great show all about cowboys and their animals.
That's right.
We'll put it that way. So we'll hope not to butcher things too much, because
butcher
we have
isn't
an
a good word to use in the life.
Probably not.
Yeah, okay, let's start.
The stock dealer is here with us. John, what is your business? Tell us all about it.
Well, I don't know where to start, but my business is such as the Reading Rodeo that just happened last week while Ashley was out of town, that we bring in the bulls and horses and the steers and calves, and we furnish the livestock for the rodeo.
So how do you know which, like the Cowboys just write anything you bring, or do they ask for specific things and then you go out and procure that? How does it work? Like
we raise our own bulls and our own horses, and you're constantly building your team.
Okay.
And so every year you're hoping to improve your team from the year before. And we're really known for our bulls, and we're becoming well known for our bucking horses. So we're a well-rounded rodeo company. And so our job is just to bring the livestock to the rodeo. Now, the PRCA is the association that I belong to, and it's Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, and they're in Colorado Springs. Well, the Cowboys enter through Colorado Springs into a computer system, and so we'll know that at Reading, we're like bull riding will be our example, that we took 60 bull riders at Reading, so we had 3 performances of rodeo. And so each performance had 20 bull riders in it. And so Procom, the group that takes the entries, will take the entries, they'll set it all up, and then we'll call in the Procom, and they say 20 bulls for that performance. We'll put our 20 bulls into it, and then they'll draw randomly. They're in Colorado Springs. And so we don't know what the Cowboys have, and they don't know what they have till about 3 or 4 days before the rodeo.
Are you kidding? So they don't get to practice or anything with these bulls?
No, not most of the kids at rodeo.
Like, he's cracking up.
Well, most of the kids at rodeo and the PRCA, their practice is on the road every day. They'll go to 120 rodeos a year. And so they're flying into Reading or driving into Reading and then turning around. They had a big rodeo in Canada the same time as Reading, and so the Cowboys were coming to Reading, and then they were heading to Cloverdale or something like that in Canada. So, and then Hayward had a rodeo, Ramona had a rodeo down in the country. And so they're trying to go to as many as they can go to, but they go to the major ones first, and Reading was the major rodeo for that weekend in the whole United States.
See how important we are?
Yeah.
So
We're
how
the major
many rodeos are you providing livestock for each year?
We go to 25 rodeos a year.
Wow.
And we don't really go anywhere till the 1st of April, and we end up in late October. So in that short span, we're going almost every weekend.
Wow.
So we're kind of lucky to get them here.
How do you transport your animals?
We have about 4 or 5. It takes at least, like Reading, it took 6 truckloads, semi-truckloads of trucks to get the livestock to the rodeo.
Wow.
But because Red Bluff is so close, our hometown is so close to Reading, that we kept all the bulls and horses at our ranch in Red Bluff. But we had 5 stock contractors here at Reading. Wow. So we had to house all of them there at Reading, at Red Bluff. Reading does not have the facilities to hold, and not very many rodeo committees do have a facility to hold 5 or 6 stock contractors. So it works out really well that we're close to here.
So you were one of 5 or 6?
Yes,
yeah,
5.
that's what I was going to say.
Wow.
How many are there? Like, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot, but is it a very common
There's
company to have?
In the PRCA, there's 72 stock contractors in the whole United States.
That's what I was, okay.
But most of them, like we're out here, we're sort of on an island by ourselves, and there's 7 stock contractors west of Utah.
Oh, wow.
And the rest of them are pretty much in the Midwest, and they compete against each other a lot. A lot of competition for rodeos, so it's nice that we only have 7 stock contractors on the West Coast.
So how do you get chosen to provide for the rodeo?
This is where I get to brag, I guess. But it's the team that you have. And we're, like I said, we're really well known for our bulls and have been for years. And now we're well known for our horses. And because we have some of the best horses and some of the best bulls, committees hire us. So we do a lot of major rodeos on the West Coast.
So I want to know how you got into this, because earlier you were talking about your dad was in the car sales business, and you are now a rodeo stock contractor.
I am. So someone told me, if you want to make God laugh, tell him what you're planning on doing. Because I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, but I was raised around agriculture my whole life. There was a big family called the Owenses in around Red Bluff, California, and they were all big cattlemen. And one of their sons was my age, is John Owens. And then my dad was really good friends with him also. So I got to hang out and become a cowboy through this Owens family of brothers.
Yeah.
And so that helped me get started. But the thing that really pushed me towards the rodeo business was when I got out of the Army in 1972, I went to work for my dad in the car business. And he fired me 4 times in one summer. So I knew I wasn't going to be a car dealer. And I think he knew that I would never be happy in the car business. And sure enough, I went back to school and went to Cal Poly. I did my senior project on becoming a rodeo stock contractor.
Oh my gosh.
And Bank of America was giving money away in those days in '77.
Oh my gosh. And
I walked in there, and it was one of the hardest things I ever did. But when I called up the bank manager, I go, I want to get in the rodeo business. So he says, well, come on in, and we'll talk about it and figure it out. And I had, by '77, I'm 26, 27 years old, and it's time for me to grow up. But being a rodeo cowboy, I really didn't want to grow up. But I knew when I walked in that door that my life was going to change. And it was the hardest thing I ever did, was reaching for the door to go into Bank of America and to ask for that. And matter of fact, I didn't even touch the doorknob. I walked away, and I had to talk myself back into going back there again, because I knew my life would change. And it
that
did.
is amazing. That is such a fantastic story.
Well, it's not really a fantastic story.
It is.
It's just a gutsy story that I don't know if I had control of. I really believe that all the right people in my life came into my life at the right time to create who I am today.
Yeah.
And even the guy you're going to be visiting with later, Ellington Peak, was part of that.
Oh, that'll be interesting to hear.
Do you want to tell that story?
Well, he was part of it.
Let him tell it.
Well, he won't know me as like I know him, because I'm in my early teens when I meet Ellington Peak. And the guy has done more for the cattle industry single-handedly in the West, on the whole West, the 7 western states that I know of.
Wow.
By himself, supporting the cattle industry. And at the same time, that's where my livestock was coming from, the cattle industry. And through the Owenses, I met Ellington. So, and you guys, he's going to be a great interview.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. So what is something that you would tell someone that was interested in going into the rodeo industry, rodeo stock contracting industry?
Okay. Probably one of my heroes was Cotton Rosser. Cotton Rosser, the Flying U Rodeo Company, was one of the major stock contractors on the West Coast. And he tried to talk me out of it when I got into it. But he helped me get into it. But he said, you better have a lot of money. So I know, our family is not far from rich, but yet we're not poor either. And I probably cost my dad in the first 20 years I was in the rodeo business about probably $150,000 just nickeling and diming him to death. But he helped me get through the hard times, and then a lot of the Owenses and even Ellington, they all helped me. It was like, I felt like Jimmy Stewart in Bedford Falls, that I had all this support from all this community, and they're the ones that helped me get through it.
Oh, that is.
Because it was tough.
Is it? Is it really tough? So
it's almost impossible. I don't know.
Really?
The people in the rodeo business now, the stock contractors you see coming in, have a lot of money, and you don't see young guys like myself starting from scratch.
It's a startup.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just too
expensive. The animals are too expensive.
Right.
Well, what if they wanted to come work for you? Could they do that?
Well, we do. We have kids coming to work for us all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have a lot of cousins that live in San Francisco, and they come and work for me about the time they're turning 16 because they learn to drive and they learn to work at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
That's good.
That is really
That's
interesting.
good. So you're famous for a certain bull.
Yes.
He's laughing.
Well, I've always lived my life, and rightfully so, that something has always made me famous. I didn't ever make myself famous, but you know, Red Rock has been dead for over 25 years,
and
we still live in the. People remember Red Rock.
Why
but we
do
did
they
such
remember him? Who was he?
We did such a great job of marketing Red Rock and Lane Frost. And Red Rock was Bucking Bull of the Year in 1987 in the PRCA. He was #1 of all of 5,000 bulls in the PRCA. We matched him. He'd never been ridden in his whole rodeo career. And then we matched him with a young kid named Lane Frost, who became the world champion in 1987 bull rider. And we went on the next year and did this match. And it just, USA Today, the Chronicle, Sports Illustrated, people that weren't really that interested in rodeo really got involved because they understood these two great champions competing against each other. But the sad part is, the next year, the kid that did the match, Lane Frost, was killed by a bull in Cheyenne. and so it immortalized both of them.
Yeah. Wow, that's just part of the deal
part
in
of
rodeo,
life.
isn't it?
Yeah, part of the deal.
So, what happened to Red Bull?
Red Rock just died of old age.
Oh, okay.
In 1992, he was about 18 years old, and that's about as long as a bull can
Did he
live.
have a lot of babies?
We actually did start raising bulls from him, but none of his babies made good bucking bulls. But his daughters that were bred to another bull created a lot of great bulls. And Wolfman.
Through the female.
Right.
Through the, there's a story.
Through the mother.
I'm on that.
Through the mother. You girls have it, I'll tell you.
What a fun interview.
I know.
If I read my messages right, we're about finished with time. So I'm sorry, but we're going to have to close up this segment. What a fun
too short.
interview.
I agree.
I think it was just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to shut us off here pretty soon.
Well, stay tuned because we are going to come back in just a few minutes with the second half of our show. Thanks for watching.
Hello, and we are back to the rodeo, and we're here with the Cowboy Hall of Fame, if you can believe that. He is a legend, and he is the owner and founder of Shasta Livestock Auction. We're here with Ellington Peak, and you should know that name. I mean, that is like, it's a regal name of its own, on its own.
And world renowned, and in the world of rodeo, it's a big time name.
Yes.
So,
well, not rodeo so much.
Cowboy, in the cowboy world.
And, yeah, the ranching world.
The ranching world.
Okay.
John Growney is famous in the rodeo world.
I like that.
So we are just like it's a famous
it's combined,
day.
No, but you're a rancher, and that
Yeah,
I mean,
we're everything.
And it's nice to kind of, it's nice to get that distinction and kind of learn a
You're
little bit
right.
more about the differences.
Right.
So if you've ever traveled down or up I-5, you come to Cottonwood and you look to the east, and you will see a large facility. With lots of livestock and lots of space for livestock, and that is where the Shasta Livestock Auction is held and located. How on earth did you get started, and when was that started?
Well, I was up kind of trading cattle. I got out of the service in 1950, and I was just kind of order buying, buying cattle for different people, touring around the country, and one of the boys by the name of Don Betty, he's an auctioneer. He used to auction his sale one time. It had already been built, an old sale barn in Anderson. It was on 6 acres. And the owner had died, one of the owners, so they wanted to lease it. So I said, well, I might as well tackle that and try it. So
May as well.
Yeah, we were there for 3 or 4 years, and it wasn't enough room. We had 6 acres. And so anyhow, with the help of a lot of other ranchers, because I didn't have any money in those days, we went to Cottonwood and bought 70 acres to start with. Now we got 115 where we could have more room. And then we built up our sales. But I had the support of the community. I had about 10 or 12 of the ranchers put in money so we'd have enough money to operate and buy the property.
Yeah.
That's where John Trisdale helped a lot from up here. Owensboro, Sefton's, a lot of kind of famous names in the livestock business. So then we started and we just got going, and we were selling more cattle than anybody west of the Rockies for a lot of years. And then when it came technology came along.
Yep.
And so we decided we better go in the video business because one or two others had just started. And now we sell cattle most all the states west of the Mississippi.
Just from adding in that video component, because you could video, you were videoing taping your cattle?
See, I'll have maybe an agent in Wyoming, and he'll just take the pictures and ship them to us, and we'll edit it. That's where I hired Kevin Devine, who used to be Anchorman Channel 7, because I needed somebody to do that. And Kevin was an expert at it, and so I hired him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that was the start. When did you really start doing the video component? Do you remember what year it was?
Steady in '89.
So that's pretty. You were using VHS tapes then.
Oh yeah.
In '89.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of guys sitting out. Yeah.
So people could just take. So you were just. I mean, so that's essentially how you kind of got yourself all over the U.S.
Yeah.
By taking the video, you could send your video to different people.
Oh, yeah.
And then they could choose their cattle.
Yeah, they buy. See, we'll have a sale, and a lot of our buyers will be from Nebraska, Montana, Washington, Arizona.
And prior to that, you had to buy within your area, right?
Well, we didn't. I flew all over the country selling and buying too.
So you were already kind of a hustler.
Wow.
You were going to get the stuff done.
Yeah.
And then you changed the game on top of that.
Yep.
I love it.
And then you moved right into streaming, I'm sure, live streaming the auctions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're really at the forefront
of everything. Yeah.
So when were you inducted into the Cowboy Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Oh, I think it was 07, I guess.
Okay, not very long ago.
Yeah.
And what was that like?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. We held at Oklahoma City every year. Yeah. Last year now, Cotton Rosser, who was a famous rodeo guy, he got inducted.
Wow.
Then anyhow, we had about 350 people from here go down to it.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of John Wayne, like John Wayne's boys, and
oh my gosh,
some of the famous singers, and a bunch of them there. It's a pretty good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what gets you inducted into the Cowboy Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Well, I wandered all over the country and met a lot of people. So I bribed them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You were too much. Oh my
but anyhow, I did business with everybody all over. Probably more businesses than 90% of the people. I don't know.
Wow. So are you still really in the livestock business?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Are you retired, or?
I'm supposed to be retired.
That never
I give it to my kids, but I can't quit.
That's right. That's right. That's what keeps you young.
I probably get in their way, but I like to visit with the people and everything. And get around.
And are you still running live auctions
now? Every week.
Every week? And can people just come in from the public and watch it?
Oh, sure. Come.
Wow. Yeah, when is it held?
Every Friday.
Okay,
and
in the morning?
Bring your checkbook and I'll sell you something.
Now, is it a place that you can bring? Can you bring your kids to come see it?
Oh yeah, a lot of little kids. Anybody,
really?
yeah.
Oh. Oh.
It gets going pretty good about 11 o'clock. We start earlier that, around 9, but from 11 to 1, we're real busy.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a summer field trip, parents.
Yes,
Yeah,
and you can eat breakfast at the
Yeah,
cafe or lunch.
Yeah.
Food is pretty yummy.
Yeah, and we got veterinarian supply there. And we used to have a good Western shop that my wife ran. She was known as Tornado Betty, but she's like me
What a
now.
fit for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's true.
Ellington and Tornado Betty.
Yeah, right.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's neat. So tell us about your book, because we have
Yes,
this
this is
book. I'm
huge.
going to hold this up. So
Well-
hopefully we can get a shot of the book. Let me hold it still. And tell us, there's a picture on the back of you and your family, I think.
Right.
That's what I'm looking at. So it's a family corporation. It's been the lifeblood of Cottonwood, right?
I guess.
And tell us
That is
about this
amazing.
book.
Well, everybody was wanting me to write a little history.
Yeah.
So I left out all the good stuff.
You left out all the good stuff.
Well,
I don't
some of
believe
it,
that.
but
I don't
anyhow,
believe that.
it could have been that big. If,
Oh, I'm sure, a lifetime.
They were after me. They had to capture me all the time because I was always going around the country.
Right.
But I didn't get a lot in it, but quite a few interesting stories.
Well, so it's full of stories. It's called When to Buy, When to Sell, Cattle Deals, Ranchers, and Shasta Livestock.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it was just
love it.
completed just a few years ago, right? So
Yeah,
I'm looking
yeah,
at the date here,
right.
2012.
2012, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it is recent. It's a recent book, which would be very interesting.
Hardback,
a great
good
gift
gift.
for any of your,
Yes.
any of your
Yeah.
grandparents, graduates, anyone
Yeah.
interested in livestock.
Right.
I know
or
my
rodeo.
nieces are real into rodeo,
Yeah.
and they ride, and I think they would love this.
Yeah.
love that.
There's
I
a
think
few.
they'd love it.
Well, there's a few rodeo stories there.
Yeah.
They'll know something like the
And some
picture
other
cotton.
legends that you have in there.
There's quite a few legends.
Yeah.
You might know a few of them.
Yeah.
Some local legends too.
Yeah.
I love the education I'm getting on the
yeah.
rodeo and livestock. And
It's a whole nother world.
it
isn't
really,
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
And
I came into this country when it was still booming, more or
Yeah.
less, from building the dam, and of course you had the lumber industry big, and there's mentions.
really, so it goes.
People
You
there.
went all into the
Yeah.
Shasta
Yeah.
County history too.
Oh yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I
Tehama.
love it.
And
Shasta
Tehama.
and Tehama,
Yeah.
right?
And the mountains.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We run cattle ourselves in the mountains and different places. In Fort Klamath, a lot of the cattle from here, summer go down by Critter Lake and all over.
Now, one of the things I did find that was pretty interesting, and I will ask you this too, I didn't get to ask John on camera, but even though he was doing the contracting and you do the ranching, you both actually rode as well, correct?
Well, I just rode to work. I was not a rodeo cowboy.
Yeah, but you
Well, we had
got to test them. Yeah.
Well, no, I was never a rodeo cowboy.
Yeah.
And sure, I rode because every year we
have some
take our
pictures in there?
cattle to the high Sierras. I got some place in there. There's a little history.
lots of pictures in this
John
book.
was
It's very
John was a
interesting.
rider. Our earlier
Oh
interview,
yeah.
John was a big rider.
Yeah, he was a good rider.
Yeah.
And his family, a great family. And I go back forever with that family.
Yeah, he
You
said
say
you
that
helped
about
him.
everybody.
Yeah.
You go back forever with all the families of the North State, the longtime family.
See, we ran cattle in high Sierras all the
look
time.
at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if people want to know more, I'm
Yeah.
going to interrupt you here. I've got this Western Video Market,
Yeah,
which is the listing, right, of what
Yeah.
you're selling. Is that right?
Yeah. When we have a sale, we'll have a sale every 2 weeks. We'll put out another one of these.
Okay.
But
And this is nationwide. And if you want to know about this is another interesting thing. You just go to wvmcattle.com.
right.
For more information on this, Shasta Livestock, go check it out for yourself. You can go watch an auction, which is really fun. And you can also find out more by getting this book, Ellington Peak, right?
Yes.
By
Yeah.
Ellington Peak. So,
we've had a busy morning, haven't we? This is a great
good. Well, that's
day
good.
of interviews.
And I like to interview these good-looking girls.
Well, we love having you. We love having you. Yeah. Yes, very fun. So John Growney was here earlier, and I want to give his website, because we forgot to do it earlier, and it's GowneybrothersRodeo.net. GOWNEY brothersrodeo.net will get you all the information about his stock business. Yes. And then, of course, the Shasta Livestock Auction is available anytime to you here in the North State. Yep. Thank you for watching another show of The Forum. We loved visiting with you too. We look forward to seeing you again next week right here on KIXE TV.